Leche. 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 Get 'em, Jimmy, where Loshak at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. Welcome to 2023. What a year it was. What a year it's going to be. Who knows what the future holds? I don't know. Very likely awful shit, but we don't know that for a fact. I don't know. The next week is going to be fun. That's for damn sure because we got the last week of the NFL season, which is crazy. The month is going to be fun because we got January in college basketball, which is kind of crazy. Then February, which is traditionally my favorite month. We got the heart of the NHL season, which is always crazy and fun. So hearing myself talk feels like at least the next few months are going to be crazy and fun, Jose Bouquett. What do you think about that?
I do have a lot of feelings about the next few months. It is going to be fun. I think our mutual friend, my father, might be returning to us on the Tuesdays. I think maybe next week even with no full NFL. So we'll see how that goes. So maybe a little reuniting there next week. But Pete, I will say this: our lovely end of year video came out. You did a great job on it. You were a star. Can I do an impression
of me?
Sure. Can I do Shakespeare as Peter Loshak?
Sure. I didn't know you had this in your repertoire, but go ahead.
Well, I've watched that one part of the video like 700 times, so I've got it down now. You know, maybe I don't have all the words down, but I think I've got it.
Sure.
Now is the winter of our discontent. There we go. That's all I've got.
Not bad. No, that's better than I expected. Yeah, you got some potential there. To overtake me both in terms of acting and NFL handicapping at this exact moment. No, you're not ahead of me, but the potential is there in both areas, Jose Bouquett, and you know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. You thought you were going to come out ahead of me in that contest. I may be jinxing myself this upcoming week, but that's okay because I like to joke.
Let's not put no brick, Pete.
Pete. Yeah, Jose and I are neck and neck along with Drug Monkey RX in the Pub Sports Radio contest, and of course, unfortunately, let's give a shout out to Ian Cameron, who I guess 1 week missed his 5 picks. Because if he had made those 5 picks, chances are he'd be in the lead, but he's not, which is a good lesson in life. You got to show up. You got to get your picks in. You know what I'm saying? And I am, exhibit A for what happens in life if you don't. But yeah, you got to get your picks in. So, but shout out to Ian Cameron for being great in general at NFL handicapping, right? He's 2.5 points behind me. His average week would be at least 3. So if his average week, if he had gotten in those 5 picks, probably he'd be a half point ahead of me right now.
You hate to see it. Yeah. I hate to see it personally, Pete. But just remember, if we would have done Circa Millions, us two, we would be in like the top 50 right now.
Still, even after my shitty 2 and 3 week.
They have not posted the updated scores for this week, but I think we would easily still be in the money, which would be
wow. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to have a serious discussion about that, later on this year to see if I want to answer because I don't know. Yeah, contests are fun as hell. We're gonna have a nice day today. We're gonna talk about NHL. We're gonna talk about NBA. We're gonna talk about college basketball a little bit. I don't know. I don't have a lot of analysis. So far, I don't have anything. I'm thinking maybe Nebraska. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe what are the other picks I'm thinking about? Nebraska catching those points. I'm thinking maybe I don't know. Think about Creighton. Thinking about Vanderbilt. But other than that, nothing so far in college basketball. Yeah, Jose Bouquett. It's interesting. That is pretty impressive though what you've done in the contest so far. Let's take a look at the comment section right now. Shout out to everyone. Dan Kelly. Wow, there you go, Dan Kelly. Man, what a friggin' call on the Wizards second half 2 days ago. Put me on the +6, which cashed. Dan Kelly had the money line, which also cashed. Huge shout out to Dan Kelly. Shout out to everyone, Real Deal Prime, Danny Lopez, Viper, NB, Ron Crawford. There he goes, spreadsheet play of the day. There we go, copy and paste right now. Spreadsheet play of the day, Ottawa. That makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. Great to see that Ron Crawford backs that up. Michael Ervolina, hell yeah. Bella B69. All right, Jose Bouquett. What else do we have to? And Dan Kelly had him first half also. Yeah, I had him full game, Dan Kelly. I had him full game. Normally, I would have just been like, great, I think I made a winning pick there. I'll let it cash. But then when I saw you on the money line, I was like, all right, I can at least throw a little bit on the second half +6, which cashed, which offset my losing bet on Sacramento second half that day. But both Sacramento and the Wizards are on the small card today, so we'll talk about that with Trot Wham. Let's see, Jose Bouquett. Anything else that we should be talking about here?
No, I think we can roll right into NHL. I will say again, this is my least favorite Canadian we have coming up. He shot me in the broad daylight. You can also see that on the end of year video as well. But yeah, no, it's a great time, and I'm excited to talk NHL. And I will remind people that his golf videos are back. The PGA Pub Hub is back. Him and Connor Mack breaking down golf. I'm getting into golf now as well. Maybe not gambling on it, but definitely playing it because I'm a bad golfer, but I will be a good golfer at some point. I'll do the introductions here, Pete. Let's talk about Raw Dog in here. Raw Dog, how are you?
I'm doing good, Jose. Happy New Year, buds. You know, it's a new year. It's got up to a new foot here, okay? Can we leave it at that?
No. I hold grudges.
Anyway, Peter, it's good to see everyone in the chat. You know, I'm the most hated Canadian here, but you know what? That's okay. You know, we cap hockey. We love everyone here. It's all good. It's all gravy. You know, Pistol Pete, how you doing there, buddy? Happy New Year.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I got this sports betting thing is I got to promote myself more, Mr. Gokster. I got to promote myself more, but then I feel like anytime I promote myself, I jinx myself. So I don't know what to do.
Just throw it out there, Pete. You know, a little leg from Pete there. He'll be back. Here he is. Come on, Pete. Come on back to us. A little technical difficulties with Peter there.
We lost Pete.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I knocked the cable when I slammed. I jinxed myself. I slammed my hand down on the table. I knocked the cable off of out of my. All right, I'm ready to go. All right, I'm ready to go. We're gonna have a good time, regardless of even if we jinx ourselves. We still have a good time, which is the most important thing in life, I guess. Right, Mr. Gokster.
You just market it and you just see what happens. You just throw it out there, Pete, and let the people do what they want with it. So.
Yeah. I gotta fucking promo myself somehow. I don't know. I had a good bowl. I had a really good bowl season, Mr. Gokster. Nice. You know what I'm saying? All right. You want to get into NHL, Gogi?
Yeah. But you're crushing NFL. Between that and the NFL Pub Hub, you must getting a new spot up in upstate New York coming up soon, eh?
You know, I'm doing all right. You got to do bankroll management. Yeah, you know, I'm doing okay. You know what I mean? I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. No, I had a good ball season. Yeah, and NFL is looking okay. All right, so let's see. You ready, Mr. Gokster?
All ready to rock. Let's go, chat. Let's have a day.
Let's try to figure out this NHL card because, you know, I mean, that's the funny thing about you know, sports betting, no matter how, even if I'm doing well in this contest there and this and that, and it's like, and then you sit down to analyze the lines for games that haven't happened yet, and people are like, are you sure about what you're saying right now? And I'm always like, not really. No, of course not. I'm making an educated guess. So I look at this NHL card. I don't really know what's going to happen here. And the first game that we're going to look at is a perfect example of that. Arizona, Florida, right? Now, Arizona has won 3 out of their last 4. All is home. All's a huge dog, right?
Yeah,
they're playing 50-50 in general right now. Most of the times when they win, it's as a massive dog. And now they're once again a massive dog against Florida, who they're playing like they're winning like 33% of their games. So no, seriously though. People are like, the markets are so sharp. The markets are so sharp. If the markets are so sharp, is this really Florida should be a minus 350 favorite over Arizona? This is one bet I made on the overnight line. I took a shot with Arizona plus 2.5 at minus 150. You know, Florida, I guess I don't have the balls to bet them outright as a huge underdog. Arizona's got to have some value here, right, Gogi?
Yeah, you know, anytime you get a plus 2.5, and the way Florida's been playing, like they've won one game in their last 2, 4, 6. They're 1-5 in their last 6. They did win 7-2 against Montreal. But one thing about Arizona here, Pete, that I noticed here, they got a player here in Nick Schmaltz. Nick Schmaltz and also Matias Michelli. Both of these players, just in the month of December, Nick Schmaltz had 4 goals, 8 assists. That's 12 points. And Michelli had 2.7 assists. So you're missing 2 players that are top 6 in scoring on your team. That's recently, too, for Schmaltz. Michelli's been a couple games. But they got their arses kicked against Tampa Bay. I don't think they're going to win this game. I really don't. Florida, between their coach Maurice guys, he's on the hot seat. They're a pretty much healthy team finally because Florida, they had injuries with Barkov, Lindell. I'll just bring them up really quickly here, guys. But they're a healthy hockey team, and they're also starting Pete Spencer Knight, not Bobrovsky. So anytime they start Spencer Knight, this is the better of the 2 goaltenders. He's 4-2-2 with a .920 save percentage at home with a 2.60 goals against. Vejmelka 5-10 on the road, .903, 3.33 goals against. So, but you're looking at this offense just in the month of December. Kachuk, Verhaeghe, Reinhart, Stahl, Barkov. They have players. They're not getting the contributions like they did last year, Pete. Like this was a good hockey team last year, right? Mm-hmm. I really think it's the coaching that has something to do with this hockey team. I can't lie. But this spot with those 2 players being out, Schmaltz and Michelli, I don't see both penalty kills too, Pete, in the last 10 games, 64% and 68%. So penalty killing has been really poor. I think this is an opportunity for Florida to score. I don't want to talk you off the 2.5, but I'm going to throw this Florida Panther money line in a parlay. I had a 2-team parlay, but I thought, you know what? I really do think Florida's going to win this one. And I had written down here Florida on the money line, guys, in the over 5.5. You can take that. That's at -105. But I'm a little worried about Arizona scoring, missing, like I said, Schmaltz and Michelli. That's 15 assists in the month of December. So I'm going to have to just leave it on the money line parlay here, guys. I do think Florida's going to come out strong here. Especially with Knight in net too now.
All right. Well, Mr. Gokster, I have the money here. And this site we check for line value, right, Mr. Gokster? My favorite part of doing the spots with you. As of right now, there are 2 sides with full line value and 1 side with half line value. So it's going to be a fun day. This game is one of the games that, according to the site that we look at, has full line value, either Arizona or Florida. Now, Mr. Gokster, I don't really believe in cancel culture. I really hate it. But if you get this one wrong, you're canceled, Mr. Gokster. You're canceled. I'm going to cancel you on Twitter if you get this one wrong, even though I don't. Once in a while, I support cancel culture. And this would be one of those instances. Which do you think it is? Let's see if Mr. Gokster can get it right. Full line value, according to the site that we look at, Arizona or Florida. Mr. Gokster, what do you think it is?
Well, I never did well in school, Pete, but I'm going to say the Arizona Coyotes.
You got one. You got it. Yes, absolutely right, Mr. Gokster. You're not canceled. You live. Your public persona lives for another day and another week. Full line value on Arizona, according to this site that we look at, doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, when I looked at this line on the overnight line, I was just like, how, last year when Arizona was a massive dog and started winning a little bit, I was not hip to that. But right now, I mean, how can Arizona? So I don't know. Not necessarily that they do have value, but the site that we look at indicates full line value on Arizona. I took them on the overnight line, and you know what? I will. Wow, and the line has just dropped at Pinnacle since I looked at it. I'm going to take a shot with Arizona plus 2.5 minus 162. What do you think of that? Arizona plus 2.5 minus 162. You think that's a little risky?
When you're getting 2.5 goals, Pete, we can both hit this. The money line, they can win by 2.
Yeah.
It's really the empty netter, but when you get to 2 goals, it depends on the coaching and what Arizona's done. Shout out to Die Hard there. He'll be rooting on his Coyotes. But looking at Arizona's schedule, Pete, Thursday and Friday, they have a back-to-back against Philly and Chicago. They'll win at least one of those games, maybe both, to be honest. It's going to be tough on a back-to-back, but those are much easier games. This Florida spot, I think, is going to be tough. First of a 3-game road trip. They're a much better team at home. This is a team, if you can get a good dog at Arizona at home when they got those 4,600 fans in the small arena, that's when I like taking Arizona. here, the line's pretty high. It is too high, but I wouldn't talk you off the 2.5. But I'll just.
All right. Well, look, I already bet it, and I actually just checked Will Hill. It's actually only 157. I bet it. I got a little bit better on the overnight line, but I'll make that official. Arizona plus 2.5 minus 157, and you're right. They are much better at home, but still on the road, they tend not to get blown out as well. So I don't know. It might not be. North Ender says line is. Go ahead.
Those two players, like I said, guys, Michelli and even Nick Schmaltz now, he's day-to-day. He's not playing from what I just saw from the beat writers. It's the same lineup they had against Tampa Bay. He wasn't in it. And their penalty kill is 64%. Florida's, they're going to be as hungry as a team's been. They're completely healthy now, too. So,
yeah,
I think Florida's going to win this game. Yeah.
I'm going to copy and paste the DC Cappers college basketball play. Maybe I'll pull off. I will. I'm going to hold it because you're right. That's why I talk to you guys, because you guys know how important some of these players are for teams like Arizona. They're winning and maybe covering as a huge dog by a shoestring. But then if two big guys are out, and that's important, yeah. Okay, I'm out. I'm off it. I'm not going to make that official. That is not an official play, and I might hedge out of my plus 2.5 and take Florida to cover the entire bet for the plus 2.5. And if Florida wins, I'll break even. And if they win by 1 or 2, I'll get a nice middle. But all right, nice analysis from both of you.
Yeah, real quickly here too. Jacob Chikrin and Sebastian Shane Gostisbehere, they're their defensemen. They're top 3 in scoring, and then you're missing Schmaltz and Michelli. So then you're looking at Keller, Krause, Bjorkstad, Fisher, Hayden. They don't have much depth at all on this team. So,
okay, great analysis. Shout out to MDR24 Real Deal Prime Diehard MMA Podcast. Everyone in the comment section, thanks so much. Please help us figure out what Justin McIvy. Please help us figure out what to make of these lines. All right, Mr. Gokes is on Florida. I'm gonna hold off on Arizona as an official play, and so then maybe Arizona team total under might be worth a shot, huh?
Yeah, like the penalty kill though for Arizona is at 68%. But yeah, right. And they have allowed 38 goals in their last 10 games. But again, if there's regression coming, it's probably going to be here.
All right, well, let's move on. Buffalo and Washington, another interesting game, right? Buffalo off a loss after 6 straight wins, and Washington, see, this is where we need the comment section, or where I need the comment section, and you, Mr. Gokester. Washington, awesome. I mean, we knew they were a talented team coming into the season in general, but I guess a little similar to Boston, I certainly didn't have them pegged as like one of the elite teams, but they are just rolling right now, right? Just off a 9-goal win, winning most games, or 11-2 in their last 13. Buffalo, a strong team as well, though. They're off a loss again after 6 straight wins. Big road dog here, but not sure. And maybe Washington is one of these teams where it's just like bet on or fade, bet on or pass. Don't fade them at all. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe Buffalo team total over? What's your take on this one, Kogi?
Well, this is going to be a really good hockey game. Both of these teams have a lot of offensive firepower. Last 10 games, 42 goals for Buffalo, 46 for Washington, 26 against Buffalo, 21 against Washington. So both teams are really hot. And just looking at Washington, guys, they don't even have Hagelin, Carlson, Wilson, Backstrom. I'm going to fix that one. And even Oshie. And they're getting production from – they're just – this team, I think, Pete, they're going to make a run in the playoffs, to be honest. I think could be a playoff team with Kemper and even Lindgren. Now they got 2 goalies as well. Once they get back, Carlson, like this is going to be a really deep, good hockey team. They're experienced too. So I'm pretty high on this team. But looking at what they've done lately – 13 goals in the month of December for Ovechkin. And then you look at assists. Kuznetsov's got 14. Sheary's got 11. But then on the other hand, Pete, Buffalo, you got a guy in Tage Thompson. He's put up the same numbers as Ovechkin. This guy's got 13 goals as well. Then you got Tuck, you got Skinner, Okposo, Quinn, Patera, Krebs. This isn't like both of these teams. The only difference between Buffalo and Washington, Pete, is Washington's been there. And Buffalo is much younger, and they haven't. And then looking at the goaltending matchup, Luukkonen should be going here. Don't have confirmation, but I think Luukkonen's going. He's 4-2, but much more inexperienced goalie. Kemper should be going here, 6-4-1. Where I'm actually going to be going here, guys, I'm looking at some heavy trends. 15-2, Pete, third period, Buffalo over 1.5. And then looking at Washington, they're 14-5. In the third period to the over 1.5. So I'm actually going to take both teams to score here, guys, in the third period. Just kind of taking the stats because I think it's a tough cap, but both teams to score in the third period plus 110. because it's 15-2 on the road for Buffalo and then 16-4 for Washington at home. So you want to give me plus 110 on both of them to score. You can get an empty netter. So that's where I'm going to lean in this game. I think it's going to be a really good hockey game. One of these goalies could steal it, but and if one of these hockey teams are down, I even take them live because it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. What? What about? I was thinking about Sabres team total over, but it's looking like the under might be actually the way to go. I'm seeing some big money numbers favoring the under here. As far as in general, as of right now, nothing really on the side. It seems pretty split on the side, but way bigger bets coming in on the under. Does that make sense to you? What's your take on Darcy Kemper and goal?
Well, yeah, he's good. Both of these goaltenders are good, Pete. Just looking at what Washington's given up, they gave up 2 to Montreal, 4 to Ottawa, 0 to the Rangers, 1 to Winnipeg, 2 to Ottawa, 3 to like they defensively. They're even without Carlson, they've been looking good. So it's a really tough hockey game. That's why the stats really led me to this third period. Both teams to score. I could even see an overtime game possibly here, but coming off a 9-2 win for Washington. And then you're coming off that 3-1 loss from Buffalo, right? After the 6 wins from Buffalo. So I have a slight lean because you're getting that nice plus maybe 130 on Buffalo first period. I don't mind that, but I guess I would lean towards Buffalo first period after that loss, and then after a 9-2 win from Washington. Just looking at
all right. I'm going to make the under 6.5 minus 108 an official play. Under 6.5 minus 108. I'll make that an official play. And I'm thinking about the first period under as well. First game of the new year. 2 minus 140. 2. You think there's going to be 3 goals scored in the first period, Gogi?
Luke Hokanen's the only worry I would have there, Pete, is if he doesn't look good tonight, and then next thing you know, it's just a goal fest, and Buffalo's got to keep up with them. But I don't see that happening. First period, I don't mind. Power plays though, 82% penalty kill, 78% penalty kill. Power plays are 29-24. Buffalo can score. It's a tough game because it can go either way. To be honest, Pete, I'm really having a tough time trying to figure it out here. People in the chat say, let's see, North End or Caps are on Caps lock. And that's a good one. What's going on there, Sharon? And Real Deal says, just do it. Sabre FLA moneyline parlay from Real Deal. What, Pete? First period Buffalo. I expect them only scoring 1 goal against Ottawa there. That was kind of a letdown spot after those 5-6 wins they had. And Washington coming off a 9-2 win, that's not fat and happy. I don't know what is. So
right.
I would lean Buffalo first.
I'm going to double up on this one, Gogi. I'm going to take first period under 2 minus 140. If 3 goals are scored, I'll eat the loss. Not even 1.5 units of loss, 1.4, which is not good, but I'll take it. So I'm doubling up on the under here, Gogi. Under 6.5 full game minus 108 and first period under 2 minus 140. And you're on both teams to score in the third, huh?
In the third period, yep.
All right, interesting stuff. Looking at the Real Deal Prime says disregard the Ottawa game, tired legs. Yeah, I hear you. Looking at other Sharon Pulliam, shout out to Sharon Pulliam, North Enders saying Caps are locked the TF in. And Rocco Rogers, shout out to Rocco Rogers. They're in domination mode. Yeah, hell yeah. DC Capper, shout out to you. All right. Okay, let's move on. Next game, Carolina Rangers. Interesting stuff here. Now, this is another line. Mr. Gokster didn't quite make sense to me on the overnight line. Carolina, obviously awesome. I'll quote you the numbers right now. 11 straight wins, 15-1 in their last 16 games, right? So that means that, the fair line for Carolina over their last 16 games is like minus 950 or whatever the hell it would be. The Rangers, awful win, but that was at Florida. Florida, as we know, kind of sucks. They lost 3 or 4 before that. Before that, they were on a run of winning. So the Rangers are, an okay team for sure. But Carolina just absolutely dominating and just a very small road favorite on the overnight line. I didn't pull the trigger on it because the line confused me. What do you think, Gogi?
Yeah, this is probably another. I'd say almost a defensive. Should be defensive battle here. When you got Kochetkov, this guy's just kind of taking the reins. It seems like this goalie or this team, Pete, needed a goalie with Anderson and Ronta not really stepping up, kind of, back and forth. Now Kochekov's came in here. He hasn't lost on the road yet. 4 OT losses, 6 wins, a .931 save percentage, 1.90 goals against. That's why they're winning these games. They're not getting a whole bunch of offense. Just looking in December, guys, Stahl has the most goals for them at 6. 12 assists, though, from Brent Burns. They're just – it starts on the goaltending. And when you're getting solid goaltending, Pete, it's just game in and game out. Hockey doesn't seem as hard. It doesn't seem as, the goals, it seems not effortless, but you know what I mean? It's not as tough when your goaltender is keeping you in these games all the time. On the other hand, though, you got the Rangers who have 34 goals in their last 10 games, also 23 against. Shesterkin's looking not really good, but I'm still high on this goalie. Healthy team on both sides. I have a lean to no goal in the first 9 minutes here, plus 100. I'm not going to pull the trigger just because I feel like I've been, losing a lot of my no goal in the first 9 minutes lately. So I'm going to leave that one off, Pete, but that's where I'd be looking, like a first period, maybe even a full game under. Penalty kill. Look at this in these penalty kills. 89% in the last 10 games for Carolina, 84% for the Rangers. So both penalty kills are pretty damn strong. I'd have to lean to the under, but sidewise, I'd flip a coin here. I really would. This could be the first loss for the Hurricanes in a while.
Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Gokster, I said there were 2 games that had sides with full line value, according to the site we look at. First one, if you got it wrong, you would have been canceled, but you got it right. Nice job. This one is tougher. This one is much tougher. This is one of the games that has full line value, according to the site we look at. Full line value on one side here. Carolina, 15 out of the last 16 winners, or the Rangers at home as a small dog, kind of struggling, but with Shesty in goal. Which side do you think has full line value here, Mr. Gokster?
Well, let's go with Carolina.
2-0 today. Mr. Gokster, you're absolutely right. Carolina is the side, according to this site that we look at, that has full line value. Now, that doesn't mean that that's going to be the case when puck drops, but what do you make of that?
Yeah, I don't know. To be this whole where the money is, or where that's the game we're playing. I don't take too much into effect to it, to be honest, Pete. I do think this could be their first loss. The line is low. This Ranger team, they're completely healthy. And whenever you have a completely healthy hockey team, I'm just going to pull them up really quickly, guys, because I like seeing what the teams have been doing as of late. Now, they haven't been getting a lot of goals. Assist-wise, 14 from Panarin, 10 from Trocheck, 11 from Fox, but no one's really stepping up goal-wise. And actually, one player here, Julian Gauthier, he's been really called out of late. He's got 3 points in the last 11 games. Only guy that's a -2 point plus minus, in the month of December. So other than that, it's going to be a tough game, to be honest. I really don't know where to go with this. I would lean to the unders, though. I think both defensively, they're both strong enough. Goaltending wise, Kochekov's been really good. You got Shesterkin at home at the Garden. So unders is where I would look here. If you want to do no goal first 10, if you want to do first period or full game, or even team total. So.
Yeah, absolutely. North Ender says first period under might be a look. And now that and he also says Canes are great in the first period. Now that I'm thinking about it and talking about this game with you guys, I might double up on unders, but I'm definitely going to start with first period under 1.5 plus 100. First period under 1.5 plus 100 in this one. And I'd be leaning full game under as well, and probably doing the cowardly thing and buying the 6. Billy Friedrich says Rangers win here. Real Deal Prime says I'm off. People are suggesting overtime. Yeah, it might be 2-2 and then go to OT. Imp 13, 420, likes no goal first 10 plus 114. I'm going to take the first period under 1.5 plus 100. And definitely leaning full game under as well. Go ahead.
Sorry, Pete. I want to take that no goal first 10, but it's just like trying not to go back to the, to like, I don't know, the crack shack or whatever. It's like, don't go there, Gokster. You're not supposed to take the no goal first 10, but I really want to take this one. I really think the defensive battle is going to come into play. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Let's move on, buddy.
Yeah. All right. God, 6 minus 137. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that also. I'm going to take the full game under 6 minus 137. That's the current line at Pinnacle. So I'm doubling up on this game with unders as well. All right, let's move on, Mr. Goat. And thank you to the comment section, North Ender, for putting me on the under, which is how I was leaning as well. Columbus and Ottawa, next game. Interesting, right? Mr. Gokester, Columbus beat Chicago last game. Great. So they beat one of the few teams even shittier than they are. Before that, they had lost 7 in a row. You know, a classic NHL team that's struggling, winning 20% of their games or whatever it is for a long, long stretch of time. Also going under, so they're not scoring. And Ottawa beat Buffalo last game, but again, we were advised that tired legs, so we might want to throw that game out. Overall, though, Buffalo, not too bad. They've been winning more than losing, and also going under, pretty underish. So I was thinking maybe Ottawa, maybe Columbus team total under. And this is the spreadsheet play of the day from Ron Crawford, Ottawa in regulation. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'd be thinking Ottawa, even at the big favorite line, and Columbus team total under. What's your take on this one, Gogi?
Yeah, this is, as you guys know, one of my favorite teams to cap, Ottawa Senators. I got the Belleville Senators in my backyard. Ottawa they're playing one of their best hockey, Pete. They've been in their last 10 games, 6-3-1, 24-4, 27 against, but their special teams, 31% power play, guys, and a 93.5% penalty kill. I haven't heard of a penalty kill like that from Ottawa Senators in a long time. Now, they've just sent down Bernard Docker to Belleville here, and it looks like Brandstrom, I'm seeing, is going to be back in the lineup, keeping I think it was Holden, who they thought was a liability. But anyways, Tarasov, Jenner, Sharnikov are going to be out for Columbus, Zaitsev, Mott, and Chartier. Looking at the goaltenders here, though, Pete, we're not sure if it's going to be Talbot or if it's going to be Forsberg. Had a little brain fart there.
Forsberg confirmed.
Forsberg's confirmed. Okay, so
yeah.
You know, I like Forsberg there. He was the one who was in net for their last game against Buffalo in that 3-1 win. So he did look a lot better. And looking at Talbot, he is 3-5-1 at home. So Forsberg, I have to imagine his numbers are slightly better than that. Actually, I want to kind of pull that up really quickly here, Pete. But looking at Ottawa, before that they lost 4-2 to Detroit, 4-3 win. They're still an up and down hockey team, in my opinion, but they're getting a lot better. They're starting to click because this was a brand new hockey team, right? With getting Giroux and DeBrincat. They're starting to finally play better hockey. Also, Norris I think he's skating, I want to say. So once you see Josh Norris, remember, Pete, this guy comes back, Ottawa's going to make a playoff push, or they're going to make a push to the playoffs probably in late March. So this team's only going to be starting to play better hockey, at least I think defensively, at least, and it's starting to show at that 93% penalty kill. Columbus, on the other hand, they're 3-7. Goaltending wise, Corpus Salo is going to have to take the reins here for a little while. Who I'm not high on at all, Pete. I want to take. I'm going to take this actually, guys. I'm going to take the Ottawa Senators in regulation. I think they keep it going here. Looking at Forsberg splits, actually, I'm glad I brought this up, guys. 6-3 at home, 0-5 on the road, Pete. So Tom Forsberg at home, much more comfortable. It seems like he is at home. Coming off that nice performance against Buffalo, which is even though you could say tired legs, that's a deeper, tougher hockey team to play, in my opinion, than Columbus. I also have a slight lean to both teams to score in the first period, just because of, I guess, Columbus here. Their offense still isn't that bad, just defensively. They have a lot of injuries. So I think there'll be some goals here as well, but Forsberg is playing good hockey. I'm just going to leave it at Ottawa in regulation, guys. I got that at -127, Pistol.
Okay, very nice. So yeah, and Columbus, you see no reason why they will bounce back here and get a surprising win against a team that's playing a lot better than they've been playing recently. Any reason to think that Columbus will improve or bounce back here?
Well, they did actually. They won against Chicago 4-1. Then they lost, I have here, 2-1 against the Islanders, lost 5-2 against Chicago. Playing Chicago twice in the last 3 games, it's not the toughest of opponents, especially offensively. Yeah, and their penalty kill has been on point right now for Ottawa. I just wanted to I got their lineup actually up right now. Yeah, Roslovic and Gaudreau, they've got a lot of assists, 13 assists, 11 assists between the two of them, but only 2 goals. Laine, Nyquist, Marchenko, that's about it. They're not producing a lot, and they have injuries, especially with Jenner out and a couple of their key defensemen who've been out for the whole year. So yeah.
Got it. All right. Not going to overthink it. It is the spreadsheet play of the day for Ron Crawford, Ottawa in regulation. I'm going to take Ottawa -1, That's the current line at Pinnacle. Ottawa -1, current line at Pinnacle. And DC Capper has hit us up with some college basketball stuff. Tennessee, Mississippi State under 123. Okay. And Dabby Cab. Shout out Dabby Cab. In college basketball. That's Notre Dame. First half, Kansas, first half, and full game. Wow. All right, we'll look at that a little bit at the end of this show. Okay, and let's move on. Gogi, St. Louis, Toronto. It's another one where I'm not sure what to make of this one. St. Louis obviously is having some serious issues, right? They've lost 4 out of their last 5. And they have, a bunch of injuries. Key players are out. Tarasenko, I believe, is going to be, Tarasenko is definitely out. O'Reilly is out. So those are some serious injuries for St. Louis. Then replacements will get their shot. But and Toronto's been winning, but Toronto is just so bad. My sense is Toronto is just such a bad play, no matter what, at home as a huge favorite like this. So I don't know. I'm probably going to pass on this one. But do you have any thoughts here? Toronto as a huge favorite with a struggling and depleted St. Louis team.
Yeah, you're right when you say, I know it's only 2 players, but O'Reilly, guys, this guy's from the area of Toronto too, Pete. So he always likes playing strong. Like, he always plays well against Toronto. He actually had 2 goals when these guys played in St. Louis a couple weeks ago. So no O'Reilly, no Tarasenko. There goes your power play too. So maybe a St. Louis team total under, you know what, right? Just thinking about it, that kind of makes some sense. Maybe if you can get that up to 3.5, St. Louis team total under. Just looking at Toronto here, guys, 6-2 win after that 6-3 loss to Arizona on the road. Looking at their offense, Pete, their offense in December has been the best you've seen, and I think they broke some records. If I'm not wrong, they broke records, guys, in December. This Toronto Maple Leaf team for how good their offense was, and also Marner and his point streak, right? So, looking who's going in net, Samsonov, as people say. Nice pop in the collar, Pete. I like it.
Yeah.
Samsonov 9-0. This guy has not lost at home, and he's got a .941 save percentage and a .150 goals against. This guy's money in the bank. And you got a St. Louis team that's missing 2 of their key offensive players, other than Jordan Kyrou, Buchnevich, Thomas. You're not getting much contribution from anybody else. You're going to need Noel, Akari, guys like that stepping up. So I'm going to take Toronto, guys. It's going to be in a money line parlay coming up with another team. But I do think the Leafs get this one done, keep it going, and just take advantage of this depleted St. Louis team.
All right. Well, some interesting money stuff here. All the big bets coming in on St. Louis, but a very teeny bit of line value on Toronto, according to the site we look at. 15% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on St. Louis, but small line value on Toronto, and the majority of the bets coming in on the over. All right, I guess I'm gonna hold off on this one. I want to take Toronto, but I just can't pull the trigger on it, and I don't know. I'd be leaning over as well, but
really,
I don't know.
Go ahead. I think St. Louis without those 2 guys, Pete, that kills your power play really. And then just looking at the team total for St. Louis, 2.5, Pete, is -160. 3.5 is -420. So I thought I was maybe gonna get like a -160 on the 3.5.
Wait. Oh. The St. Louis team total under
2.5 is -160. 3.5.
I'm seeing -120 at Heritage, and I am
on
and I'm seeing. Let me see at Pinnacle. I'm seeing -128
for under 3.5.
Oh, 3.5. Oh my God. Oh, okay. No, I'm seeing 2.5. Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah. 2.5 there. The -120. Yeah, that's a lot better. But I was hoping to get a 3.5 even.
Wow. You're seeing 3.5 -160?
No, it's -420, Pete. But I was hoping to get like under 3.5 at maybe -190, maybe 185. But completely like this just tells me that what I'm trying to say, I guess, is this. The under on St. Louis's team total is a lot lower than I thought. It's just the books are kind of trying to say here they don't expect St. Louis scoring, and you guys know how good Toronto's offense is with Jordan Binnington in net. Toronto.
Gosh,
I know. Go ahead.
Maybe St. Louis team total under 2.5 at -120 is worth a shot. Is it?
Well, maybe under 3. Maybe an under 3. Get that pushed up a little bit. But Binnington is from Toronto too. Pete, he's from Richmond Hill, so that's one thing you have going for him is he's from the area. But the guy's been ass cheeks all year. So
I mean, they have been putting up a bunch of goals in their recent games, but that was all with Tarasenko and O'Reilly, right?
Just looking at it, Pete, 5 goals, 9 assists from Tarasenko, and then O'Reilly's 4 goals, 2 assists. If anything, Tarasenko is the bigger liability player, not in the lineup right now. But we all know how good O'Reilly's been. O'Reilly's actually -16 in the month of December. So something was wrong with him clearly. Yeah.
And so when big players like that go out and then the replacements come in, are they not usually full of energy and trying to prove themselves?
Well, yeah, and they called up guy like Josh Levo. Josh Levo is in the lineup, and you know who he used to play for, guys? This Toronto team. So he's playing his former team right there. Logan Brown, Pitlick, Jake Neighbors. They don't have a lot of guys that are offensive, Pete. They just got a lot of just two-way hockey players, in my opinion, and Josh Levo, Pitlick, Logan Brown, Nola Chari. So it's the last thing St. Louis want to do here is get into a goal fest. They're going to need Binnington to play half decent for them to have a chance to win like a 3-2 hockey game, because I don't see them winning 4-5-3 without O'Reilly and Tarasenko.
Interesting stuff. Lucas Ryan likes the over 6. Interesting. Whoa. Labels it play of the day. Look at that.
Where?
Lucas Ryan labels the Blues game over 6 play of the day. Interesting. North Ender says they have a history of going over. All right, I'm gonna hold off. North Ender says I don't see the Blues scoring much. Gary Tenebra says fade the Blues. I'm gonna hold off on this one. Let's move on. All right, Gogi.
Yeah, and Sandin's coming back in their lineup too. So Toronto defensively is only getting stronger, only getting better. Yeah.
All right, Calgary. Yeah, Calgary Winnipeg is the next game. Calgary been winning recently, but they were pretty close, and before that they were losing. And Winnipeg won 2 in a row, but before that they had been losing as well. So two kind of like good teams that aren't necessarily blowing anyone out, and kind of 50-50 in general. The line reflects that. It's pretty even on both sides. Both teams have also been trending under recently, and the line reflects that. On the overnight line, it was 6 juice to the under. I was thinking maybe this is a game with under written all over it, but maybe that's too obvious. Nothing so far for me, but I want to hear what you have to say. What'd you take on this one, Gogi? Calgary, Winnipeg.
I didn't have a lot on this one, to be honest. Looking at the injury report, though, Perfetti, Wheeler, Schmidt, Stanley, Appleton, Manale, and I'm butchering his name. Guy was for the AHL. He's right winger. Anyways, they got some guys that are out for Winnipeg right now. They're 5-5. They're a real middling hockey team, but a couple of those players, I believe it's Schmidt and Stanley, could be returning. Those are 2 defensemen, so that will help this hockey team. 26 goals against both teams, Calgary and Winnipeg in the last 10 games. Looking at Winnipeg here, they beat Seattle, Vancouver, lost to Edmonton. Winnipeg beat Edmonton, beat Vancouver, lost to Minnesota. Goaltending wise here, you got to take the advantage to Hellebuck. He's got a .938 save percentage at home. So yeah, I don't have a lot on this game, to be honest, guys. I slightly into the under, Pete, but I'll bring up kind of what they've been doing here of late. I'm kind of slacking here. Let me get back on it on the wagon. Winnipeg. It's like that was it. Mark Scheifele, guys, 11 goals in the last in the month of December, only 2 assists. Josh Morrissey's had 16 assists. Dubois got 13, and Connor's got 14. Just seeing that's just a lot of opportunity for other players to score. When you got that many guys dishing the puck like that, it's Cole Perfetti's out too now. Blake Wheeler. The only thing is they're missing a couple players. I do think Winnipeg win this game. Calgary's been a real disappointment all year, but you got to think of, defensively, they were such a better hockey team last year, but ever since that move, both of these teams, Florida and Calgary, Pete, they haven't looked good since they've made those 2 trades there, those big name trades. So I have a lean to the under. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, this is interesting, Gogi. This is the other game that has significant line value, not full line value, but about half line value on one of these sides. This is also a very tough one. We'll see what you're, there's no ramifications if you get it wrong. 2-0 so far on these questions, Mr. Gogi. Let's see if you can sleep at 3-0. Calgary, Winnipeg, one side has half line value according to the site we look at. Which do you think it is?
I'm not getting any help, You're kind of like, okay, he's gone 2-0. I'm not going to help him anymore. Line value will go towards, I will say, Winnipeg.
No, Calgary. Interesting. As a road favorite, Calgary, as of right now, with half line value, according to the site that we look at, about half the tickets, but 95% of the cash coming in on Calgary. That's pretty interesting, right? Why would that be?
I'm not to be. Oh, just they won 3-2 against Vancouver, 1-3-2 defensively. They look like they're playing better hockey here. Pull it up here real quick because they're on a long road trip here too. Let's just go quickly to it. San Jose twice. They won both of those. Lost to the Kings. Beat Anaheim. Lost to Edmonton. Beat Seattle. Beat Vancouver. They're not beating like the toughest of opponents there. No offense to Jimmy and Vancouver, but Seattle of late, Anaheim and San Jose, losing before that to St. Louis, Vancouver, Montreal. So I think defensively, that's where if a team starts playing better hockey, especially Calgary, it's going to start defensively. And their last 4 games have gone to the under. Holy Jesus, I didn't realize this. Winnipeg, guys, their last 9 games, Pete, all unders. They haven't gone over.
Yeah.
They haven't gone over, in their last 9 games. I don't know if it's – you're right. I don't know if it's going to happen here. Could be similar to the Carolina or New York Rangers spot here. Could be just, no goal first 10, first period under, full game under.
I mean, isn't Calgary's coach like supposedly a big defensive, guru?
Sutter there. He is. He's just, I don't want to say he's overwhelmed. I guess they're not listening to him as much, like a Maurice in Florida. But I don't know. It just they made those 2 trades for Huberdeau and Weegar, and for whatever reason, they don't seem like a hard team to play against. They're beating up on the weak, but they're not able to. Especially Markstrom, they don't have the goalie they thought they had, and Vladar's not there either. But yeah, just this Calgary team, they're a very middling hockey team. I'm going to say all year. Where Winnipeg bringing in Bonus, this team actually, Pete, you want to talk about goal or coaching? Bringing in Rick Bonus, this team's been a much better team, I think, Winnipeg than I expected them to be. So, and you're getting the goaltending yard from Hellebuck. That's a better hockey team than Calgary.
Yeah. Kind of weird. This could be a what's the word? A misdirection. Sometimes I believe I have heard that there is some misdirection on NHL lines in the NHL markets. I can't confirm that for sure, but I've heard it from some somewhat reputable sources. So it's possible that the early money on Calgary or the recent money on Calgary and the line move on Calgary is misdirection. It doesn't quite make sense. And I'd be leaning under as well, but I think I'm going to hold off. This is a wacky game, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? Calgary team total under, I almost don't mind. They got a 15% power play, Pete, in the last 10 games. You're going up against Hellebuck, who's got a .938 save percentage, 1.87 goals against. They're missing a couple defensemen, but they got their key guys still in there, Winnipeg. I want to take again. I feel like maybe my no goals are the plays to go in both Carolina and the Rangers, but I do think Winnipeg, they're coming off. Is Winnipeg? No, they're not coming off a loss, but defensively, both teams are starting to look stronger. Yeah, unders are where I would look here. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, let's move on. LG likes Winnipeg at +116, and some people suggesting that Winnipeg looks good. Shout out to Nut Flush Allen. All right, let's move on. Gogi, Montreal, Nashville. Montreal just getting absolutely blown out. They've given up 16 goals in the last 2 games. They're not winning. They're going, under more than over, so they are not scoring. Nashville, not a great team, though. Only won 3 out of their last 12, about 50-50-ish on totals, but here you have a -200 line on Nashville in the -200s. No real clue on this one. How awful is Montreal? Can they bounce back in this one? What do you think, Gogi?
Well, defensively, I know everyone in the chat here, we got a lot of Montreal fans, Slatsy, North Ender. They're missing Gooley, Matheson, Savard. They're all out. Then Monahan and Byron are out. So they're missing 3 defensemen. And from what I know, they're not too deep on defense. I'll watch some more Laval games coming up here. But other than, Cole Caulfield, who's got 9 goals, no assists. Josh Anderson has 4, but that's it. Like they don't have anybody else producing. That's the big problem for this hockey team. And then looking at Nashville, on the other hand, Pete, they're completely healthy. They're also coming off the loss against Vegas 5-4. They're a better team, I would say, at home. Philip Forsberg's got 7. Duchesne's got 5 in the last 10. This is an opportunity, I think, for Nashville to win. Plus minus is in the advantage of Nashville, too, in the month of December leading into this game. Goaltending wise, Montembeault should be going here. He's got an .898 save percentage, 3.49 goals against. He's not a goalie. He's in the bottom half of the league. Tough spot for him, especially with the defense he has in front of him. And Nashville penalty kill too, Pete, for Montreal last 10 games is 61%. Nashville should be able to score here. This is going to be the money line parlay edition, guys. We're going to add a little money line parlay. Nashville money line Florida money line, Toronto money line, plus 154. 3-team banger for you.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Imp 13420 likes the over 6. I think I'm going to hold off on this one, but I definitely would be leaning Nashville to take this one. Anyway, let's move on. Another one. These crazy NHL games. Tampa Bay, Chicago. Tampa Bay, a massive favorite on the road. Of course, they should be winning 75% of their games. Chicago, obviously awful, winning about 10% of their games recently. Just a terrible team. What are Chicago's legit chances of actually winning this game? They're low. How low should they be? I have no clue. What do you think, Gogi?
Oh, well, this Tampa Bay team, Pete, 8-2 the last 10 games, 39 goals for. What's Chicago done? Allowed 43 in their last 10. 62% penalty kill for Chicago, 96% for Tampa Bay. I'm thinking Elliott's going to go. That might be the only chance Chicago has here is they're going to have Brian Elliott, I believe, going here. I don't have confirmation. Maybe if anyone in the chat has confirmation on that. But Stalock should be going for Chicago, and he's actually a decent home goalie, Pete. It's a small sample size, 4-1-1, 0.905, 3.09. But he's going to need to get the goals. That 309 goals against just tells me he's won because the team scored a lot. And no Tenorti. Ever since they lost Jacob Tenorti, Pete, they're 1-9-1, not scoring, allowing a lot of goals, losing to teams like San Jose, St. Louis, Columbus. Like, if you're losing to them, Pete, I don't know how in God's name you're going to beat this Tampa Bay team. As long as they don't just let down, which I don't see Tampa Bay letting down in this game. They do have a back-to-back, though. One thing I should bring up, Tampa Bay. That is why I think they're going to go with Brian Elliott, because they have a back-to-back, Pete, at Minnesota tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I would rather Vasilevsky in net for Minnesota than Brian Elliott, because I think that's a tougher matchup than Chicago. So with that being said, I'm going to add another 2-team moneyline parlay coming up here, guys. Another game to come. It's going to be Tampa Bay in regulation, minus 210. I just don't see their offense, their power play. Like I said, the penalty kill 69% for Chicago. Chicago shouldn't be able to score at all. They got a 12% power play last 10 games. Injuries to Chiari and Entwistle. So I really have a hard time seeing that Chicago.
Well, Nutflush Allen says, if Elliott goes, I'm looking into Chicago team total. Over, I assume, not necessarily on Chicago to win, but their team total over to cash. Cheshire Cat says that Elliott is serviceable, and Real Deal Prime says Chicago's going to need more than Brian Elliott to get the win. Nutflush Allen may agree with that, but he is going to be looking into Chicago team total over. If Elliott goes, I guess we have to find out. You know, as of right now, I'm not seeing anything confirmed. Stalock likely, but nothing confirmed for Tampa Bay. And
it's a good point, though, Pete, from Nutflesh, because he is 2-2 on the road with a .870 save percentage and a 4.23 goals against. So obviously, Vasilevsky, he's dead to right Chicago, but I'm humming and hawing a lot more thinking about it. But that team total could hit. But again, I think there's too much firepower from Tampa Bay. Even with Stalock being 4-1, he's not been the greatest either. And then they're missing Tenorti. And with Tenorti, Pete, they haven't been able to stop anybody. And that's being San Jose, Columbus, and St. Louis. And then you got the defense, a healthy defense with Hedman and oh my God, but I can't remember the other guy's name. Sergachev, thank you. Sergachev and Hedman. Just those two defensemen alone, Pete. That's going to be real tough for this Chicago.
Yeah.
Line.
All right, I'm going to hold off. The Chicago team total will be 2.5 at plus money, but they've only gotten to 3 goals twice out of their last 13 games. And, so we'll see. I will hold off. Let's keep a brisk pace. Mr. Gokster, Seattle and Edmonton is the next one. Seattle, of course, they beat the Islanders last game, but they hadn't been winning before that. Before that, though, they were winning a bunch in a row, kind of 50-50 on totals. Edmonton off a loss to Winnipeg and roughly winning half their games. In general, they go over, although recently they've been more modest scoring. But before the last 3 games, they were pretty close to a dead over team. Edmonton is the modest home favorite and a relatively high total, as you would expect. What's your take on this one, Gogi?
With no Draisaitl, there's a big question mark here. I want to pull that up real quickly, Pete, just seeing if there's any update on Draisaitl, because with no Draisaitl, it definitely makes things interesting with this hockey team. So let's just see what they've done, guys. They lost to Winnipeg 2-1, beat Seattle 7-2, then lost to Calgary 2-1. So losing some offense there right away, even though they won 7-2 against Seattle. That's the team they're playing, obviously, again right here. This is a game. I'm going with the stats, Pete. I have a real stat breakdown for this one, similar to the third period stats I had with Buffalo, Washington guys. We're going to look at Seattle. Listen to this. They're 15-0, Pete. Second period over 1.5. 15 on the road. They have not gone under 1.5 goals. So along with Edmonton, they're 16-4 second period overs. So those stats enough are going to lead me to take not both teams to score, but I'm going to take Seattle, Edmonton second period over 1.5. It's about minus 225, 200. And I'm going to tee that up with Tampa Bay regulation. You get that at plus 113. That's where I'm going to look here, because looking at this game, even when you have missing Draisaitl, you still have the best player in the NHL, Pete, being Connor McDavid. He's got 14 goals and 17 assists in his last 15 games. The guy's averaging 2 points a goddamn game, which is insane. His plus minus is only 1, but no Draisaitl. You're missing 15 assists, but Nugent Hopkins got 8 goals in 10 games. So does Hyman. I'm going to have to look towards Seattle. Could very well win this game, guys, especially losing 7-2. They have no Draisaitl. This could be the chance for Seattle, but they only have an 8% power play, Pete, in the last 10 games. They're in a bit of a slump, even though they did come off a nice win against the Islanders 5-1. That is impressive. And you know what? I do think that can roll into this game. I would have in that line only minus 158. You'd think that number would be a lot higher, but that just tells you with their Draisaitl. So I'm still going to stick with the two-team moneyline parlay, guys. Seattle, Edmonton over 1.5, tied in with Tampa Bay regulation plus 113. And I think Seattle, maybe an over 2.5 goals. Pete, I think Seattle's going to come out stronger here, especially after that 7-2 loss just 2 games ago.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. You know, Seattle team total over is 2.5, but minus 160 at Heritage. And, I think it's probably a better than 50% proposition, but is it a good enough proposition to give it value at, minus 160 or minus 155, which you can get at other books? I'm not exactly sure. All right. Once again, I'm gonna hold off. Although, yeah, I think your look on the second period over, probably a decent play. And I'd be leaning, I guess, Seattle team total over, although I'm not sure. According to the site we look at, tiny line value on Edmonton, very, very tiny though. And the majority of everything is coming in on the over as of right now. But that could change. All right, let's move on. Isles and Vancouver. The Isles are off of that road loss to Seattle, but before that they had 3 straight home wins. The Islanders seem to be not that good overall on the road. And Vancouver, kind of a tough team to figure out off of 2 straight road losses. Now they're back home. They still have playoff aspirations. They do need to get some wins. So this is kind of a big game for both teams. The total on the overnight line was just 6 and relatively even as far as the money lines were concerned. I'm not sure. I guess I want to take Vancouver, but in general, Vancouver seems just like a very unreliable team right now. And it does seem to be a big game for the Islanders with this road trip coming. So what do you think?
Well, sorry, Pete, just quickly going back to the Edmonton game. I know you teed that up so beautifully, and I apologize. But talking about Connor McDavid, just looking at, I don't usually do this, but over 3.5 shots on goal is plus 100. I think Connor, without Draisaitl, he should be getting a lot of the pucks here. And we think it's going to be an over hockey game. Weak defense with Seattle. I'd look to an over shots with Connor McDavid. But anyways, my apologies. Moving on. Islanders and Vancouver. This game, overnight, I had a play on this one, and it's going to be on the Islanders' first period money line minus 115. They're 5-2-3, Pete, on the road in their last 10 games on the first period money line. And looking at Vancouver's first period money line in the last 10 games, 1-5-4. They've only won once. Defensively, I'm not high on this team. You guys have known this all year. 5-4. Martin is at home with a .868 save percentage and a 3.79 goals against. You're having the Islander team coming off a loss as well, guys. That bad loss, in my opinion, to Seattle, and then beating Columbus the game before that, and then Pittsburgh 5-1. Beating Pittsburgh 5-1, that's damn impressive too. So I'm just trying to bring up the Islanders really quickly here just to see what they've done. Barzal's been scoring 7 goals in the month of December. Anders Lee's got 5. It's not a real offensive hockey team, Pete. This Islanders, they haven't been as offensive of late, but I think they have enough coming off that loss. And I'm just not high on what I've seen from Vancouver, especially those stats. 37 goals against last 10 games for Vancouver, guys. Only 25 for the Islanders. I'm going to take first period money line, New York Islanders, and also race to 3 goals. Not an over 2.5, but a race to 3 goals in regulation. I'm taking the Islanders. That's plus 125. Race to 3 goals in regulation. So I do have a lean towards the Islanders winning this game as well, but I think that plus number on the Islanders, because I think they're going to be up on this game 2-1, 1-0 at least after the first period. So, give me the Islanders here in a bounce back opportunity.
All right. Cheshire Cat says, do the Nucks still have playoff ambitions? Hell yeah. I don't think they're going to do it, but hell, they ain't quitting. I think they suck, but they ain't quitting. That's for damn sure. Cheshire Cat says, I'd want the Islanders. This is a tough one. Yeah, the line has evened out for minus 110 on both sides as of right now. Site we look at has no line value either which way, and most of the money coming in on the over, which is pretty interesting. It seems like the over has gotten bet up a little bit. Sharp action. Looks like the over might be a nice play. So yeah, if you think the Islanders are going to get the win, and there's probably going to be more scoring than you might expect, yeah, the race to 3 that might be at plus money. That might not be bad there. I always think of the Islanders as not a particularly impressive offensive team, but maybe that is not necessarily the case right now.
Yeah, like if you're playing Washington, Tampa Bay, Boston, some of those good defensive teams, and I agree with that. But when you're playing a team like Vancouver and you're coming off a 4-1 loss, and Vancouver is just, they haven't been that good. Right. I think Islanders, they got a good coach there too. One thing though I want to bring up, guys, about Sorokin, he's played a lot. He's played like 6 games in a row for this Islander team. If I quickly bring up who they're playing next, they have a back-to-back coming up against Edmonton and Calgary on Thursday, Friday. So I would expect him to go then this game, Sorokin, and then he's going to get the rest either against Edmonton or Calgary, most likely Calgary. So that's
all right.
That's one thing. That's one thing going against Sorokin, Pete. It's just they're on a long road trip, and he's been playing a lot. Like and Vancouver's coming off a lot of losses. There could be some goals here. But I like you said, that plus money, and I think Islanders come out strong, especially with a week. In my opinion, this could be the worst team goaltending. I hate to say, Jim, but I obviously probably disagrees. But I don't think this is the greatest goaltending tandem with no Demko. You got Spencer Martin and Colin Delia. They got problems big time in goaltending, so it's going to be tough for Vancouver.
Yeah, he's an even worse goaltender than Chris Delia is stand-up comedian, to put it in perspective. All right, let's move on to the last game, Dallas and LA. An interesting one. Dallas, 4 straight wins, not against great teams necessarily, but a serviceable team. They've been winning 9-3 in their last 12. LA doing better than expected this year off a home loss to Philly as a big favorite. Before that, though, they had won 6 of 7. And and now they're a small home dog here, so I don't really feel that great betting against Dallas. But LA is a scrappy team right now, coming off a loss as a home dog. That was how I was leaning, but I'm not going to pull the trigger on it, or I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I might after we break it down. What do you think, Gogi?
Yeah, the line I thought was a little low on Dallas. Both teams are playing well. 6-2 with LA Kings, 7-2 for Dallas. Pound to kill though again for the Kings. It's been a problem all year. It's still 69% last 10 games. And well, Pete, you're going up against the best power play in the last 10 games here, 38% for Dallas. So it's going to be tough for LA here. But the thing they got going for them, I think, is they're coming off a 4-2 loss to Philadelphia, Philadelphia is playing better hockey, don't get me wrong, but that's a bad loss. You have goaltending advantage, I guess, slightly to Ottinger, but as we know from Alaska, Phoenix Copley, great name. He's 4-0 at home, Pete, with a .924 save percentage, 1.93 goals against. And then Ottinger, he's in a .942 on the road with a 1.91 goals against. So both goalies got an under 2 goals against. I could see maybe another under, no goal first 10, first period under, full game under. But and also it's a back-to-back for Dallas. That's another reason why I don't think this line's as high as it could be, because Dallas, they do have a back-to-back tomorrow at Anaheim. You don't want to take that too much into effect, but if Ottinger's going to go here, Dallas is going to have a better chance compared to Wedgwood going against Anaheim tomorrow. So goaltending wise, you got to think it's going to be a tighter affair, but the Kings are not the best defensive team, especially on the penalty kill. I lean towards Dallas, but I don't feel strong enough to play this one. Pete leans to the under.
So it really matters whether Ottinger's going or not, as far as you're concerned? Is that big of a difference?
Yeah, I would. Well, I'll bring up Wedgwood here really quickly, but no, yes, just look Andre's numbers: 942, 7. He's got a 942 save percentage, 1.91 goals against, and he's 7-2-1 on the road. That's probably the best top 5 numbers in the league for sure. Looking at Wedgwood, he's 6-4, 3.03 goals against, 0.91 save percentage, which is serviceable, but it could be a completely different game if we have. I would expect Ottinger to go, Pete. They don't need Ottinger, I think, against Anaheim. Anaheim, as we all know, is a struggling team. I think I'd be a good spot for Wedgwood, so I expect Ottinger.
Yeah, I mean, based on the line movement, I'm seeing nothing confirmed or even likely, but the line movement has moved in Dallas's favor. So that tells me that that someone knows something, that it's likely to be Ottinger. And yeah, it's as far as go ahead.
Copley's been good. Real deal prime 1.93 at home. That's right. He's 4-0. It's a small sample size, but this guy, he's been bounced around. He was on Washington for a while. He's definitely, it's a bright spot for LA, because next to Vancouver, this might have been the worst tandem with Pettersson and Quick. But now that they have Phoenix Copley here, he's been able to take this team. They got a goalie they at least trust, because they have the offense, Pete. They have plenty of offense. It's just stopping the puck. So should be a tough task, though, for LA.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Why is this line so low? That tells me that Ottinger is almost certainly going to be in. 6 juice to the under. I was thinking about maybe, I don't know. I was thinking about maybe taking first period under, but these teams have some offense, don't they? Both of them.
They do, but again, Arthur Kaliev, he's out, and Trevor Moore's out. That's a centerman and a right winger for the LA Kings, and I can tell you, Kaliev, he's got a nasty shot on their power play. So their power play has only been 19% to LA in their last 10 games. I don't see this being a high scoring game. I really don't. I don't think LA is going to be able to score a lot too, to be honest, Pete. But do I want to play it? I'm not sure, because, Velarde, Iafallo, Kempe, Kopitar, Fiala, Danault, Arvidsson, these are all forwards that can score, at least have scored at least 3 or more goals in the month of December. So I can make cases on both sides, but I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I really don't, guys.
Yeah, I hear you, man. 6.5 minus 125 at Pinnacle for the under. That's pretty tempting, isn't it?
It is tempting, and I, like I said, I would be surprised. I know the numbers, small sample size for Copley, but coming off that 4-2 loss to Philly,
Copley's not bad, huh?
It's been a small. No, he's better. He's definitely better. I want to bring up just see how old. I don't think he's too old. He's definitely bounced around the league here. Phoenix, great name, Phoenix Copley. Eh? Yeah, 92. Michigan Tech. He's not getting any. He's only getting 825,000 right now. You're not getting anything. But yeah, he's won his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, and his save percentage has been above .90, and at all of them except for the last game. But that was against Colorado. Now, Dallas is a team, I wouldn't say like Colorado, but they can score too. So it's a tough one, Pete. That's why I'm not on it. It's a real tough one.
Yeah. You think God, I want to take a shot with that under. What do you think?
I would take that under. I would say early. After that 4-2 loss. And Dallas is coming off playing San Jose, Minnesota, Nashville, not exactly the toughest of offense as this game goes on. But again, LA, their power play is not doing much. Yeah, you know what? If anything, I would lean towards an LA Kings team total under would be where I would lean towards.
Rocco Rogers saying it's tempting. I'm thinking, wait. Oh no. Nutflush Allen says, after watching a 2022 year-end conclusion, Kristen has come to the conclusion that Pete is our Cosmo Kramer. Ooh, that stings, but I'm not going to turn my face away from the truth. I'm not going to, if it's true, I'm going to try to embrace it and accept it and not try to deny it and force other people to accept my denial of the truth. Am I the Cosmo Kramer of Pub Sports Radio?
In Congress.
Probably, yeah. All right. I'm going to take the under here. I'm going to take a shot with it. I'm going to take under 6.5 minus 125, current line at Pinnacle. I think that's, I'm going to take Dallas LA under 6.5 minus 125. If it loses 1.25 units of loss. If it wins, I'll be like, nice. I had the balls to pull the trigger on it. It does feel like that is the way this game is going to go. Let's look at the money. The bets are coming in on the tickets are coming in on the over. But the line has moved a little bit in the opposite direction. Looks like there's some sharp action on the under. So I'm going to go that way. I'm going to take the under as an official play. I'd love to double up and take the first period as well, but probably not. I just don't want it to be like the first period is 0-0 and then the second period is 3-1. And then it's like, all right, now it's opening up. You know what I mean?
I do think the first period could go under too, Peter.
Yeah. You know what? I am going to double up on it. And I'm going to take it safe. But I'm going to take the under 2 minus 166 as well. Dallas, LA, first period under 2 minus 166. I think that's pretty safe. So I got 3 games where I'm doubling up on the first period and full game unders. I think at least 4 of those plays will cash. Probably looking at a 3-2. Go ahead.
Question for you, Pete. Why do you take the under 2 and not 1.5 at like minus 105 or so? Why do you like taking the 2 and minus like 160? Just wondering.
Just psychologically, because I suffer from AIPP. Perhaps you've heard of it. Any public play I give, I experience as though I'm all in. So even if it's mathematically a little less of a good thing to do, I will take the bigger favorites on public plays just because it's part of my AIPP management, Mr. Goldster.
I respect
That's the
that.
answer. There you go. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's it for NHL. Let's quickly review the plays. Once again, I got 3 games where I'm taking the full game and first period under, and I'm going on auto, which is in line with Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. I'm taking Buffalo, Washington under 6.5 minus 108, and the first period under 2 minus 140. Carolina Rangers under 6 minus 137, and the first period under 1.5 plus 100. Dallas, LA under 6.5 minus 125, and the first period under 2 minus 166, and Ottawa -1 minus 142. Mr. Goldster, please review your official plays with us.
Who's this Noli Nose I got here on the screen? I got Ottawa, guys. Regulation with our Ronnie Crawford -127. Washington, Buffalo, third period, both teams to score +110. I'm going to stay off that one. Tampa Bay and regulation -210. Tied in with Seattle, Edmonton. Second period over 1.5. That's going to be +113, guys. So tie that in. Tampa Bay reg, Seattle, Edmonton over 2.5 or over 1.5 in the second period. Let me slow down a bit. Florida, Toronto, Nashville. That's the 3-team banger on the money line, guys. It's going to be coming in at +154. And then to close it out here, we're taking the Islanders first period money line and a bounce back against Vancouver and race to 3 goals. Islanders +125. What's going on, Jose?
Great.
Hello. Good job, everyone. Great job. Great NHL segment. I can't wait. Ghoster, when's the next PGA Pub Hub?
Oh, the Pub Hub. Oh, thanks for asking. Yeah, guys, check out the Pub Hub. We got the Century Tournament of Championship. That's myself and Connor Mack. We're going to have some guests going on in the future. If you guys are golf fans, by all means, shoot me a message. We'd love to have you on, talk some golf. It's an up-and-coming, if you guys don't know, it's the league's booming. There's a whole second league. That's how much it's gotten so crazy. There's Live Tour. So we'll be talking Live Tour as well. But PGA Pop-Up every Monday, we'll give out outrights, first-round leaders, learn a little thing or two about cap and golf. It's about a half an hour long every Monday, guys, 1 p.m. Eastern here at Pub Sports Radio.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That was great. Pete, do you have any final words for Mr. Gokster?
Yeah, I think Mr. Gokster is more like Cosmo Kramer than I am. That's just my opinion. That's my final words for you, fucko. Hell yeah.
Look
at him.
Canadian Kramer, you're the American Kramer, right? We'll leave it.
Yeah, I guess we're both Kramers. Oh, boy.
Okay.
Yeah, brutal.
Thank you, Mr. Gokster. Pete, who's Kramer and who's George Costanza?
Oh, you mean, are you asking like who they are because you've never heard of them? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Apparently, Ron Walsack's asking, I must be George Costanza.
You know what?
Don't
even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
All right, I won't. There we go. I'll worry about this 3 game NBA slate. That's going to be a whole lot of fun with our next guest.
Yeah. We're starting off NBA. Hopefully it'll be, NBA hasn't gone that bad for me overall, Jose Bouquett. It's gone all right, So I'm struggling through these Tuesday cards, but at the end of the day, I don't embarrass myself in NBA publicly, and that's all I care about. And thank God we have Trot Wham to help us out here to break down this card, right? He's ready to go?
Yeah, let's bring him on
Let's bring him on. Trot Wham.
Let's
How's it
go.
going,
Let's
Trot
go.
Wham?
I'm
Happy
feeling
New
good.
Year to you.
Happy New Year, fellas. Love to be here with you guys. Love to be here with the chat. My boy Jose on the ones and twos. Love to do the show with him as well. We've been having a good season so far. Been calling some pretty big plus monies. Yesterday was Save Me, bro. Miles Turner, double plus 275. Hopefully we could bring that type of energy today, man.
Very, very nice. Yeah, yesterday, NBA, I'm very cautious, but I'm taking a shot here and there if I, mostly half-tailing other people's capping and stuff like that. If stuff makes sense to me, like Minnesota. I was on Minnesota yesterday. I was on Houston yesterday. Again, not only half my capping. Like I'll hear someone else's take, and then I'll give it a once-over myself to see if it makes some sense. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, Boston, I said someone that I respect like Boston yesterday, but I looked it over and I was like, or no, not yesterday, but 2 days ago, and they were road favorite. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to hold off on that one. It doesn't make sense to me. So a little bit of capping the cappers, a little bit of eyeballing, once-overing things myself. And NBA's going, okay, so let's see what we can do on today's card. Trot Wham, Washington and Milwaukee. Of course, this is the second game of a 2-game series. The first game was going on while we were doing the Sunday night card. The Sunday night NFL game. I had Washington full game, and Dan Kelly told everyone to take Washington first half. That one cashed. Then the halftime came, and he said take them again. Second half, I tailed him on that. That one cashed. Washington blew them out in the first game. Now Milwaukee's an 8-point favorite or so. I haven't checked the line move. Total is pretty high at, the first game was lower scoring. Washington, covering. Milwaukee kind of slumping recently, both straight up and ATS. Of course, that first game, Giannis wasn't playing. And Hachimura is playing great for Washington. So I guess my first thought would be, sure, take Milwaukee -8. Why not? But then I'm like, I don't know. Washington's just playing pretty well, pretty undervalued right now, right?
I kind of agree with you. That's kind of what a capping is. Why not just take the Bucks here? They're at home. They've been holding it down. They've been holding it down at the house. That's one thing we do know about this team. They've been playing pretty well at the house. Totally different from what we expect there for the Washington earlier. But, I mean, Washington has turned it around. Bill was out the last game. Didn't bother them at all. They just beat this team on New Year's Day. I'm sorry. Bill questionable again today. They have won and covered 5 straight games. They have won and covered 5 straight first halves as well as this Wizards team. The Bucks at the house haven't been able to cover that many games in the first half like they normally would have been when we first started betting the Milwaukee Bucks way back in like 2016, 17. They're going crazy at home in the first half, something I don't expect them to do today. I think they may have a little trouble starting off early, but this is one of the things here in this game, and I'm just going to make it simple for everyone here. The numbers are going to tell us to take Washington. They've been playing crazy defense. Number one, holding opponents 103.8 over the last 5 games. Number one, and holding opponents to 3 as well at 27% over the last 5 games. And this Bucks team, that's their problem. Their Achilles heel right now. They can't get guys to hit shots. They're shooting 28% in that same 5-game span. 29th in points per game as well. 108 was what they're averaging, what they're doing. With all that said, I still want to take the Bucks. They got the best player out there. Bradley Beal, I don't think he's going to – if he is in the lineup, I'd rather have him in the lineup for the Bucks to win this game and cover. I'm not taking them early, though. I normally would probably split this as far as a bet, but I'm not taking them early. I think the Wizards are for real. I'm not trying to – I'm one of those trend guys. I love to take the trend, and I'm kind of scared that Dan Kelly was on the Wizards. I would love to see where he's going today on this game, but because that's definitely it's very interesting when you are on a trend. Are you thinking of taking that out of it, especially that this is being a quick revenge angle for the Bucks, and we've seen since these back-to-backs have started or these guys playing these series type games, the second game quick revenge angle is kind of tending towards the Bucks. you're seeing this line move to 9 now. I'm seeing at 8.5 to even 9 at some spots as well. So I like the Bucks. I got them in, locked them in. This is the only official play that I gave out before the only play that I gave and bet before the show. It was the Bucks -8, -113. That is official play for me. I just believe if you like either team, you want to take the Bucks on the spread or you're going to take the Wizards on the money line. Either they're going to win outright or the Bucks is going to cover. So I'm going to just side in with the best player in the league right now. I'm going to say Giannis holds it down and beat these guys by double digits.
Nutflesh Allen says, check the lineup, Bucks first quarter. BJ says, might take the Wizards again plus the points. I had Wizards money line on Sunday. Me personally, I hope you all cash. I'm going to stay off this game. It's just too scary. If you gave me Milwaukee -2, I'd be all over that. At -8, it's probably a good bet, and I hope you cash it, but I just can't pull the trigger on it. Jeez. Oh, God. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. All right. But you're going to take a -8. Yeah. And BJ
I took
likes
a -8.
Yeah.
Yeah, -8,
All right.
-13.
Hope you cash there, Trotwell. All right. Boston OKC is the next game. This is interesting. Boston is off a straight-up loss at Denver as a favorite. That was a game that, that I was following, the things around. And some people I respect like Boston, and I held off on that one, and they did lose. They were a favorite. They win. They lost second half as well. OKC off a home blowout loss to Philly, but in general, they seem to have ATS value at home. Big home dog here. You have anything on this one, Trotwell?
Yeah, this game is very tough. OKC has a +1 win margin at home, going up against a team that only has a +2.4 win margin on the road so far this year. They've been holding opponents to 111 points so far this year on the road. As far as Boston, they have been playing a lot better defense as of late, holding opponents to 112 points. So they're still in that same range as far as what they're going to do in this game. They've been playing really well as well in the last 5 games on the offensive side. We do know this is a math problem with the Celtics. They're just trying to shoot a lot of threes, get those shots up, and pretty much take advantage of if they have a mismatch or something like that, they will take advantage of the matchup. But mostly it's more about spreading the ball around, getting the threes up. So averaging 112, holding opponents to 112, I want to key in on that. And then I also want to look into them averaging about 122 points. So they have about a 10-point win margin over the last 5 games. And that being said, I think they are going to be able to win by 10 points. It's just that this is a close-ass line, and I don't want to take that going against a Thunder team that can find themselves scrappy, and win this game outright. You know what I'm saying? You have no chance of covering this 9. So, honestly, if you gave me a free play in this game, I'm going to go inside with the Celtics. I think they are going to win by double digits, especially coming off that loss. They did have a great after a loss record last year. It's not so much this year. It's 11-9 ATS. So it's not the same quality that you're seeing from the Celtics team as it was last year. I'm going to think that the Celtics do come back and bounce back, but it's just a tough thing to put my money against the Thunder. And that's funny to say because we thought this team is just for sure about tanking, for sure about collecting picks as collectibles. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it. But it's a tough game for me, but I'm only thinking of the Celtics here. But again, I haven't bet this game at all. So that's the only thing I will say.
I'm looking at this midweek game, whatever, both coming off losses. I'm thinking under. What do you have any thoughts on that? And if not, it's a tough question. Trotwell, what do you think about under? I don't know. Under
233.5. It makes sense to me. I mean, it's going to be possibly defense shown for the Celtics. They're going to win and cover this game. It's going to be that, but it's a wobbler, bro. It's a real wobbler because it's like you may see the offense kind of pick up for the Thunder here. Because the defense has it's picked up recently, but it's still like they were holding opponents to about 99 points in their prime defensive state right now. They're holding opponents to 112. That's not something I really want to, they could get 116 points. I feel like the Thunder can, and this goes over. So I'm kind of scared. It's a real toss up in my opinion for the total.
All right, let's quickly glance at the comments section, see if anyone has to say anything about North Ender says, I'm looking under here, haven't bet it yet. Rob Free, that was a horrible back-to-back with a travel spot for Boston last game. Right, and so if this is a better spot for them, I think they D up a little bit. I think they D up a little bit. All right, I'm going to take it. Look, if it loses, it's 1.1 units. That's okay. Heritage right now under 234 minus 108. Under 234 minus 108. You might not agree with that, Trotwam, but you don't strongly disagree with it, right?
I definitely don't disagree with it. As far as strongly agreeing with it, I would probably tend to go towards the under as well because I'm leaning towards the Celtics. Those correlate, like you're saying, they're going to have to lock up. They're holding these. If they hold these guys to under 115 points, they're going to go under this total. So unless they score 130, you know what I'm saying?
All of that's possible.
Right. But all that shit is possible.
All of that. But okay, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. If it loses, that's fine. If I don't take it and it wins, once again, I'll be frustrated. And look at that. The big bets, 50% of the tickets on the under, 97% of the cash on the under. So money apparently is coming in, or big bets coming in on the under. A little bit concerning that it hasn't really moved since it has moved. Yeah, the overnight line was like 235.5. So it's moved a little bit. North Ender asking for the ticket count handle on the over-under. Yeah, I just read it. North Ender. There you go. All right. Now I feel a little bit less nervous about it. All right, let's Rob Free says Thunder shoot the 3-ball better in OKC. I know they clearly have home line value, but I'm going to hold off for now. Last game on the card: Sacramento and Utah. They played recently, right? A tight, high-scoring game. Sacramento won but didn't cover. Game soared over. But Sacramento, aside from, just not losing, both these teams are kind of losing ATS recently. And my first thought on this one was, kind of a no-brainerish thing here. Utah as a small favorite, -2. Why not? I kind of, in general, I think I like Sacramento a little bit better as a team. But because of the spot, and Utah's not that horrible, I'd be leaning Utah to cover as a small fave, to win and cover. What do you think, Trotway?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. It's not as quickly a revenge angle as much as the Washington game with the Bucks, but this is a similar quick revenge angle for Utah as well. I mean, they came out and lost on the 30th against this Utah team. Against this Sacramento team by 1 point. Very close game. And this team, as far as Sacramento, I mean, they're only 2 points away from going on a 5-game lose streak. You know what I mean? They only won by 1 point within their last two of the last three games that they did win. So I just believe that this team is kind of very this team is not as good as people expect them to be coming into this game. So you're gonna keep getting them as far as like doubters. I do like the Kings in this spot though, because I just think they are the better team here. Yeah. But that being said, if I'm going to bet anything in this game, it's going to be Lauri Markkanen, man. I think Lauri Markkanen is probably in a good spot to go over his threes, go over his points in this game. The only reason why I didn't bet this game is because it's a later game, and I feel like if I'm going to bet that regardless. I can wait to bet that in this spot, and it's not going to change that much. I don't think it's going to be one of those things that's going to move a lot. So that's the reason why I haven't bet this at all. But I think Lauri Markkanen is probably going to be on my card today. The only issue that I have with that is because I kind of lean towards the side for the Kings here. I just think that they are the better team, but I'm going to go key in on the guy that I think that's going to try to help his team win and go over that 3-point prop, which is over 2.5 to 3.5, and then also the points, which is I believe is at 20.5 points there. So I think he gets over those two. But again, I haven't bet those yet, but that probably is going to be on my card, especially once I cast this. If I cast this Bucks team, I'm definitely going to possibly make that official play. Give that out as to the people there. But for the most part, it's the total here is kind of interesting too. So I want to talk about that. I think that the Jazz so far, even though they've been on a terrible losing streak, the team has been able to score. They have been able to score in certain spots. So I think that they are going to be in a position to get their points up, because we don't think that the Kings are going to play any lockdown defense anytime soon. Yeah. And against this Jazz team, that's probably the reason why they even favored here, is because they're going to score to the upward of 115 points. So I expect this to, get in that range to go over this total. That's another reason why I like the Lauri Markkanen spot too, because he's going to be the driving force behind all that. So I think the over is a good look. That has been going over in the last 3 games. 3 meetings within these two teams. I just think that they are possibly going to play a high tempo type game here. But as far as what did you think as far as taking the Jazz, just not even close your nose because this is a good team so far this year. But what do you think that they're gonna play any kind of defense on that side, or they're just trying to outscore these guys?
No, I just think that that the refs are going to be like, all right, they won last game, give it to them this game. That's my calculus there, Trotwell. You know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely get you. I got you there. And then it went up like a motherfucker last year. So, the refs definitely have a lot to do with that. I'm gonna just circle that down as far as like I like the over as much as I like the Laurie stuff, but I like the Laurie props probably top tier first. Those are gonna be I'm pretty sure I'm gonna bet it for sure as if I'm gonna tweet it out or not. Type shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If I have a loser today, I'm probably not gonna get that out just because I don't want to keep giving out losers. I'd rather take the L myself. So
I hear you. You're right. So my take on this game is in my analysis is a fixed game in favor of Utah. So I'm gonna take that. I wish I pulled the trigger on the overnight line. Now it's actually gotten bet up to 3.5. So I will do the cowardly thing and make the money line an official play at Pinnacle. It is -154. So I'll make that an official play. Utah money line -154. I completely agree with you, Trout. I know that Sacramento is in general significantly, notably better than Utah. No question about that. But I'm going to take Utah here on the money line. Let's see what commenters are saying here. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Not really. Yeah. Rob Free says they play zero defense. And BJ loves Utah Jazz today. There you go. Locked them in this morning. Yeah, I hear you. All right. Okay. I guess that's it, Trotwam. It's just a 3-game card, right? Let's review our official plays. I just got 2 plays. Utah money line -154. Boston OKC under 234 -108. Review your official plays, please, Trotwam.
Bucks -8. Bucks -8. -113 official play for me. And that Lauri Markkanen was actually at 26.5. I got him confused with Kyle Kuzma. That's another bet that I'm very close to betting as well. Kyle Kuzma over 20.5 points. That's what it was. But the Lauri Markkanen most likely will be on my card over 26.5. It's not official though, but only official is Bucks -1. I mean -8. -8.
Sounds great. How'd that sound to you, Jose Bouquett?
Great. I got my hopes up just now because Jeff Passan tweeted out that Rafael Devers and the Red Sox signed a 1-year deal, but not an extension. So I got my hopes up there. But it's gonna be great. It sounds great. The hopefully the Celtics become a good basketball team again. They're kind of petering out a little bit, but yeah, a whole lot of fun. Trotwam, thank you.
No, thank you. And also I want to ask you as well, Jose, while you're here, if y'all gonna win today, it's gonna be about Al Horford, bro. It's gonna be about Al Horford. How do you like his over 9.5 points today, man? What do you think about that? How do you feel about that? That's an interesting bet that I didn't make or didn't even feel the time to go ahead cap too hard, but going against his old team, going back to OKC, I like that look.
I do love average Al Horford. He's one of my favorite Celtics, if not my favorite, right there with Marcus Smart. You're right about his little. It's not. I don't know if it's necessarily revenge, but this OKC team paid him to sit out, and average Al Horford likes playing ball, so I don't hate that necessarily. I'm pulling up his last couple of games.
8.8 last 6 games. He's averaged 8.8. Maybe the small motivation gets an extra bucket.
Yeah,
maybe the small motivation.
I'm looking at it now. He had 8 against Denver, tough matchup. 8 against the Clippers. Zubac is a tough matchup. Shout out to him. The Houston game, he didn't probably play much. Milwaukee, 11 points. Minnesota, 17 points. Yeah, I like that. Why not?
They give up a lot of rebounds as well. Maybe a double-double if he gets to 10 points. Maybe the double.
Don't tell me with a good time, man. Don't tell me with
maybe a sprinkle here and there, but I want to run that by you, Jose. I appreciate you, sir.
No problem. Wham, thanks for coming on by. I appreciate it. Before you leave, plug anything before you got to go.
Yeah, man. NBA Pub Hub every Monday. I'll be there. Obviously, tune in with my guys as well. They are on today, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And also Wham Talk at night every Friday. Do it at 6 p.m. Who Banging Sports Talk.
Beautiful, Wham. Thank you very much. I will see you soon. Wham, bam. And Pierre Loshak, you have some college basketball looks you want to throw out there real quick?
Do I look like I got some college basketball looks? No, I don't know. I'll hit you up with some stuff. Jose Bouquett, I'm very, very careful and cautious about what I hit you. I got a few things that I will be on myself that I will hit you up with. First of all, I would like to remind you that DC Capper likes Tennessee, Mississippi State under 123.
Yeah, I took it. Shout out to DC Capper. I took it. I'm on it. I just put it in my gambling group chat too with my pals. It's for them to take it too. So we're on it.
Those low totals, they're low and getting lower. There used to be games like that where the total would be like 130 and I'd pound it. And then 2 years later, it'd be 128. 2 years later, 126. Now it's 123, but maybe there's still value. I have not touched that. And then Dabby Cab, shout out to Dabby Cab, wherever he is right now, took Notre Dame first half -1, Kansas first half -0.5, and full game -2. Those are interesting. I'll look into those a little bit later. I'll hit you up with one play I'm going to be on it. That's all I can say. I'm on it, and it is Mississippi Ole Miss against Alabama, catching double digits. Alabama, of course, a great team, ranked, but Ole Miss hung with Tennessee in their last game, and Ole Miss lost outright to North Alabama. So people are like, how are they going to, if they can't even beat North Alabama, how are they going to hang within single digits with Alabama? I'm betting that they will. Let's see what the line is right now, if there's a line on this one anywhere. Ole Miss against Alabama. Not sure if I want a first half full game it, but I'm definitely going to take a shot with the first half. With the full game. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, 12. Ole Miss +12 against Alabama. There you go. There's one you can stick in your hat.
That's hat right now. It's in my hat.
Yeah. I was thinking about Nebraska +7 against Michigan State. Want to look into that a little bit more, but if anyone has any thoughts on that one, we got a few seconds to let us know about it. That one, Alabama. Ole Miss definitely won. Nebraska, thinking about that. And then, I don't know, maybe thinking about Vanderbilt, -10 or so over South Carolina. That was another lean that I have. I'll probably be on it, I guess. Not on it yet, though, but I'm going to look into it. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Jose?
No, I was just agreeing with you. I was going to ask you to recap your full card, too, because our guy, Rainbow the God, wants to know what the full Loshak card is like today.
Why? Why would anyone want to know that? But if
I
someone
asked myself the same question with me, too, and I give it to him anyways.
Here you go. Rainbow the God, here you go. Here's a little Seinfeld. You don't know who Seinfeld is, Jose Bouquett, but that's okay. Why would anyone want to know that? All right, here you go. Here's my full card, Rainbow the God. In NHL, Buffalo, Washington, full game under 6.5 and first period under 2, -140. Carolina Rangers, under 6 full game, -137, and first period under 1.5. And Dallas, LA, full game under 6.5, -125, and first period under 2, -166, and also Ottawa, -1, -142, which is also Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. His play of the day is in regulation. NBA, Boston, OKC under 234, and Utah money line. I took -154 at Pinnacle. You can get 160 pretty easily market wide. And then college basketball, a lot of leans, but we can chuck on Ole Miss at +12 officially there. What the hell? That's my full official card for you. Rainbow the God. Billy Friedrich likes Marquette. That's an interesting game. Yeah, Rob Free loves Pitt +6. Okay. Yeah, you got to be careful with college basketball, but yeah, Ole Miss I'm willing to give out right now. And again, leans so far. Also, Seton Hall Creighton under. Kind of like that one at like 135.5. I'll probably be on that one. Seton Hall, Creighton under, and probably Vanderbilt -10, and probably Nebraska +7 or so. Definitely Ole Miss +12.
Top Set is right, and shout out to Top Set. Haven't seen you in a while. Shout out to you, my man. Pete, that's a very juicy card.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
New Year, St. Pete.
What are you talking about? Yeah, there's the 166 Dallas LA 1 period. That's it. Everything else is like, a few 140s in there, a little 130s, but then you got, Utah money. It's a little juicy, sure.
Shout out to you, Pete. I actually have people working outside of my window right now, so apologies if you guys can hear people around and some construction working around. But I have this one thing before we head out of here, Pete.
Yeah.
Did post the Cappers contest payout structure officially here. I'll post it for everyone here. It's on our Twitter page right now. Top 7 get paid. So the last week of the Cappers contest is going to be very, very interesting here. Pete up for grabs for first place, 2 games up. Me, Drug Monkey, tied for second. Again, Pete, best not put no brick. Best not put no brick, Pete. It'd be a real shame.
Actually, if I chuck up a brick and you don't go 5-0 or 4-1, I'll still win.
I'm going 4-1 again, Pete. Yeah.
Tough week. Week 18 is really weird, really wacky. I'll tell you what, some of the last 2 weeks in the NFL in general, but especially the last week in the NFL, I've seen this year in and year out. Some of those like 7-point line moves wind up being totally wrong. It's really wacky. I wanted to go into the last week with a little bit of a cushion because basically I feel like it's a coin flip, which is not bad. That means I would expect to go 2.5 and 2.5, which is a decent week, but very coin flippy. Just don't tease anything. But honestly, have you looked at the card yet? Is there anything that you're thinking you're liking or not?
Nope, have not looked at anything. All I know is that the Giants aren't trying and the Eagles are like 14-point favorites. That's literally all I know. And I thought about just taking the Giants just because they're a decent squad. Brian Daboll, good coach. But do I really trust Tyrod Taylor? I don't know. So, yeah, I really haven't looked at it, to be honest. I get honestly, all my capping and all my football stuff I do on the Cappers Contest show. This week on Thursday, back again, last week of the Cappers Contest show with my pal Jimmy, obviously. So it'll be a whole lot of fun. And Pete, again, I hope you can show up maybe this Thursday and we'll pop on for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Just a quick Leonard Porsche Jr., George in Vegas. I do a lot of second half stuff in college basketball. Like the way you're thinking, George in Vegas, Leonard Porsche Jr. I would endorse the way you've been thinking. We don't like to expose our edges too much in these shows, but Leonard Porsche Jr., George in Vegas, yes.
And apparently that's Costanza.
What'd you say?
That's Costanza, apparently the dude with the bald head and the glasses.
I don't know what Costanza looks like. I know the name, but that's Costanza. Yeah, that is Costanza. That is George Costanza right there. Picture of him. All right. I guess that's it. Are we done here, Jose Bouquett?
No, I think that's it, Pete. Do you have anything to plug before you get out of here?
Not really. I'll be wandering around East Williamsburg the rest of the week if anyone runs into me, as always.
All right, beautiful. Tell the guys at LMAX I said hello.
I will. We'll see y'all next week.